Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as a tradition and the norms of gathering like this, we would wish to observe the national anthem, please. National anthem. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as a tradition and the norms of can we have that like from the DJ? We would wish to observe the national anthem, please. National anthem. Thank you. You may have your seat, please. I wish to call on Malan Sabo Ibrahim Hassan for the opening prayer. Thank you. You may have your seat, please. I wish to call on
ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا وحرنا وعبدنا وغائبنا وحاضرنا وطاعنا وآصنا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة تفرج بها كروبنا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة تقضي بها الحوائج ما علمنا منها وما لم نعلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. حاضرنا وطائنا وآصنا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة.
I will wish to recognize the presence of His Royal Highness Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, CFR JP, the Emir of Kano State. Can you please put your hands together for him? I also wish to recognize the presence of Her Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna, apologies, Ahmed. Please put your hands together for her. I also wish to recognize the presence of the Director General, Islamic Organization for Food Security, IOFS, Her Excellency Professor Yalan Baidwelet. Please put your hands together for her. Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna. Sorry, apologies for him, please. Apologies. Ahmed, please put your hands together. I also wish to recognize the presence of the Director General, Islamic Center for Development of Trade, ICTDT, Her Excellency Mrs. Latifa El Baudilay. Apologies if I didn't get that correct. Please put your hands together for her, please. As time goes on, we will continue recognizing the presence of our dignitaries here present. At this point, I would wish to welcome to the podium for an introduction and welcome address Nasir Muazu Adamu, Executive Director, Governmental Affairs and Policy. Please put your Executive Director, Governmental Affairs.
Sarkin Kano Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, Sarki mai tausayin talakawan shi. Your Excellencies, Ambassador, Your Excellency Tun Mukhtar, Vice President Islamic Development Bank, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, morning to welcome you all to this all important
And policy
meeting.
Please put your.
We are delighted at Dar Al Halal, Development and Growth of Nigeria, to present to you this morning market reports on halal economy. This
Governmental
by myself and my senior brother and my mentor, Chad, a man with a passion for his country. The journey started somewhere in 2020. Your Excellency of the report did not stand. Your Excellency, in Farawi, Istanbul, Vice President Islamic Development Bank. I had a discussion with them, and they said, why don't we take this into another level of private sector?
and policy.
From there, the journey starts up to this moment. In 2020, at Dar Al Halal, with the full cooperation and full backing of the Honorable Minister of Finance, present to you this morning what market Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed on halal economy. We launched the 2020-2021 Global Islamic Economy Report here in Nigeria at Fraser Suite. We wanted to do it live, but due to COVID, we had to do it via Zoom. It was a success. That's what leads to the management of Dar Al Halal to engage the services of Dinar Standard again to come up with a report specific for Nigeria. And my senior brother, it's an economy that's so vast, but we have a passion for his country, but it's untapped here in Nigeria. The journey started somewhere. Without saying much, I would like to once again welcome you. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. We really Vice President Islamic Development Bank. Thank you so much. I had a discussion with them, and they said, why don't we take this into another level of private sector?
Can you please put your hands once more for Alhaji Nasiru Muaz Adamu? He is the Executive Director, Governmental Affairs and Policy of Dar Al Halal. Before I call the next item, I wish to recognize Alhaji Dahiru Mangal, represented by Alhaji Shamsuddin Dahiru Mangal. Please put your hands together for him. We also have His Excellency Faisal Ibrahim Al-Gamadi, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, represented by Mr. Munir Al-Harbi. Please put your hands together for him. We also have Alhaji Inwa Kashif Abdullahi, CCIE, the DG and the CEO, National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA, is here with us. Can you please put your hands together for him? Next on the program is
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم Special respect to our royal father, His Royal Highness Sarkin Kano, Alhaji Aminu Bayero, CFR, and also Dr. Mansur Mukhtar Sarkin Bankano, the Vice President of the Islamic Development Bank, the CEO, General Standard, the DG, Islamic Organization for Food Security, the DG, Islamic Center for Development, and the Chairman, Chief Executives and Management of our host, Dar Al Halal, for bringing us here. Good morning. The DG, Nedda Alhaji Noor Kasif, good morning. Ambassadors that are here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This permit me to start by expressing, first of all, gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for enabling this event to happen today and for enabling the production of the report that we are going to be reviewing today. And to my brother, Alhaji Dikoladan, and all the brothers and sisters at Dar Al Halal for the investments that you have made in terms of time as well as resources to produce this Nigeria Halal Economy Report. May Allah reward you, and may this report deliver the full benefits to humanity. The halal industry in Nigeria is indeed at a very early stage. You can even say it's at an infancy, but it remains a strategic economy for the overall economic development of our country, Nigeria. The reality of getting getting halal economy to contribute even more significantly to the Nigerian economy, and to make this a reality, government has to create the right regulations and the enabling environment for entrepreneurs, organizations, associations, and accreditation bodies to support the entire value chain from research and development to product sourcing, as well as production, to logistics, to sales, as well as marketing. In recent years, the halal economy has gained increased attention and investments, with a compound annual rate of 9.2% forecast between 2015 to 2025. The global halal industry as a whole is estimated to be up to $6.3 trillion US. And if you exclude Islamic finance, this is 2.3 trillion per annum. And this is therefore one of the fastest growing markets in the global economy today. Simultaneously, the global market is estimated to reach an annual 20% per annum growth. So the opportunities are immense. As of 2021, the leading halal sector was Islamic finance, with a market share of 51.6%, followed by the halal food sector, which accounted for 31.46% of the global halal market. At the Halal Expo Nigeria 2021, which was convened to discuss the understanding of the Nigerian halal market, participants noted that Nigeria could significantly jumpstart industrial development through the halal market, considering the nation's consumer population and also even the size of the Muslim population in Nigeria. The Nigerian Halal Economy Report that is being presented today aims to inspire, empower government entities in Nigeria, empower industries and investors to grow Nigeria's presence in the global and regional halal economy. It also aims to simplify trade business, increase consumer awareness, and also foster partnerships as some of the strategies that Nigeria can help develop. Report offers insights and recommendations to enable Nigeria to tap into the potential of its halal market and to contribute to the growth of the Nigerian economy. So overall, this report estimates that Nigeria's halal economic opportunity to further boost its GDP is up to 1.6 billion US dollars annually. Within the next 4 years, through incremental exports, import substitution, FDI opportunities, the report presents key sectors and markets and overall strategic areas based on national halal economic strategy framework to expand trade and investment opportunities. The halal industry in the global economy comprises halal food, halal cosmetics, halal pharmaceuticals, as well as supply chain, modest fashion, halal media and creation and recreation, as well as other markets targeting to fulfill the needs of the Muslim consumers globally. In 2021, the Halal Economic Forum agreed that this is an opportunity that Nigeria must harness to be able to contribute significantly to the growth of its economy. Of course, there are also opportunities in halal investment, so it's not just products and recreation and marketing. The purpose of investments, halal investment, is to ensure that wealth is not depleted, that wealth is preserved. And if the wealth is managed wisely by involving an investment instrument, it can be multiplied and it can be used to secure the benefits for orphans, for Islamic ethical systems, beginning with Tawhid on this earth, and also assets, as we can say, belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Nigerian Halal Economy Report that we are going to be seeing today aims to inspire and empower government entities and industries and investors to grow presence in the global, regional halal economy. It also aims to simplify and increase customer awareness, as well as foster partnerships and collaborations. It has in it some strategies that can help Nigeria develop and grow its halal economy. This report offers insights and recommendations to enable Nigeria to tap into its full potential of the halal market and to contribute to the growth of not only the Nigerian economy, but also the global halal industry. On this note, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to again thank Dar Al Halal for this effort and to say that you have opened for Nigeria immense opportunities to contribute to the growth of the Nigerian economy. I want to thank you for your efforts. May Allah bless you. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
You can do better than that. Please put your hands together for the Honorable Minister of Finance. At this point, before we move to the next item, I wish to recognize the presence of the Ambassador of Senegal, represented by Sidi Gabar Fall. Please put your hands together for him. Also have His Excellency the Ambassador of the State of Qatar, represented by Ahmed Al Misneed. Can you please put your hands together for him, please? We also have His Excellency Muhammad Musa Nje, the High Commissioner of the Gambia. Please put your hands together for him. I also wish to recognize the presence of Rafiuddin Shiko, the CEO, Dinar Standard. Please put your hands together for him. We also have here with us Dr. Mansour Mutar, Vice President, Islamic Development Bank, ISDB. Please put your hands together for him. We have online participants. We want to recognize you. There are a lot of people who are viewing us and participating online. We want to acknowledge you and also want to thank you for making our time to join us online. We also wish to tell you, for those who are joining us via Zoom, should please mute their microphones. Thank you. I want to use this opportunity to call the CEO of Dinar Standard for a report presentation. The CEO of Dinar Standard, Mr. Rafuddin Shiko. Please put your hands together as you approach the podium.
If I can get a hand microphone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. I greet you with the greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my humble pleasure to share with you the insights on the opportunity of the halal economy and the market that is presented to Nigeria and Nigeria's leadership for Africa in this space. I'd like to first of all thank His Royal Highness for being present and your commitment towards this report and this opportunity for Nigeria and Africa in the region. I'd like to also thank Your Excellency Dr. Muhtar for your presence, representing the great organization of Islamic Development Bank, as well as Nigeria's leadership opportunity in this space, the Minister of Finance and other excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also, most importantly, thank Brother Diko Ladan and the Dar Al Halal organization for bringing this opportunity to Nigeria, one of the leading countries of the OIC, as one of the leading countries of Africa as well. If I can begin with the presentation, my goal is to share with you some key highlights from this report that all of you can benefit, and it's a service that Dar Al Halal is offering to all to benefit from. I'd like to start first with a ayah from the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min zakrin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lata'arafu. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may. Beautiful ayahs I find that reflects the opportunity of the halal economy, the Islamic economy, and the brotherhood and sisterhood that we have in the different peoples and tribes. And it's my first trip, by the way, to Nigeria. And it's really an honor to see this beautiful part of Allah's creation, and inshallah be part of the global halal economy as we share with you next. So the purpose of the report, as Her Excellency had mentioned already, is to provide a comprehensive view of the market opportunity for Nigeria and a roadmap to build awareness amongst all stakeholders, government, private sector, as well as investors and industry, to realize the potential that this has for Nigeria. We move on. It is produced by Dar Al Halal in partnership with Dinar Standard, both private entities who are committed, as Mr. Diko Ladan's Nigeria now. A little bit about Dinar Standard. Alhamdulillah, for the past 10 years, we have highlighted and implemented now successfully the halal economy agenda for various leading countries across the OIC. UAE, now currently in Saudi Arabia, who has taken a major investment initiative around the halal economy ecosystem development. Indonesia, which is the leading halal consumer market in the world with the biggest Muslim population in the world. Turkey, and of course, the commitment that the OIC organizations such as or Islamic Organization of Food Security, ICDT, which is represented here, and certainly Islamic Development Bank, whose mandate is to develop the member countries' economic ecosystem. One of the things I wanted to just highlight why this is important, and it's time for Nigeria in Africa, because you are, mashallah, the second largest halal consumer market of Africa. And just like Indonesia, just like Turkey, just like Saudi Arabia, Nigeria has a key opportunity, and there's a long ways to go, but the opportunity is tremendous to derive the economic development for Nigeria, as well as an agenda for Africa. So if I start with some of the key insights, I want to say that this report, with the support of the Dar Al Halal team, involved a comprehensive methodology of research. We've interviewed various government ministers in Nigeria, industry professionals in the region, and we have applied our 13 plus years of Dinar Standards proprietary analysis of specific areas and sectors where Nigeria can actually action and develop this economy for Nigeria. Move to the next slide. I'd like to start for many, as Her Excellency mentioned, halal market and opportunity for Nigeria is still in its infancy. So it's important to also share with you, what do we mean? What does halal economy mean and cover? And I'm quite sure many of you are still vague about what does it tangibly include. We have introduced this definition that helps us define it. So these are those industries and sectors whose core products and services are affected by Islamic ethics and law. So today, if we look at finance, obviously the core product or service is affected by Islamic law. Food, the core product or service is affected by Islamic law. Versus, let's say, furniture manufacturing. The core product is not affected by Islamic law. So this is our way of defining and scoping. So if you were to first understand why is food and not some other sector included, this is the way by which we have scoped it. So with this definition, if we look at what does today worldwide this halal economy cover? So by this definition, food, as I mentioned, finance, as I mentioned, even modest clothing, and I'll share with you these incredible numbers with you. Pharmaceuticals in terms of the ingredients, cosmetics because of the cosmetics or personal care products such as toothpaste and others that have halal relevance. Travel tourism, Muslim-friendly tourism is now a key segment, tangible. And even media and recreation, content for children, content on TV. If you look at this, these 6 sectors alone, they add up to $2.3 trillion of consumption worldwide, representing the consumer power of the 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide. This is significant, ladies and gentlemen. And what is significant is today, those who are taking it seriously are not OIC member countries, unfortunately. And you will see that amongst the top 10 exporter of halal products in the world, producers, top 7 are non-OIC member countries. Your Excellency is from OIC. I know this is a key part of your agenda, and this is what we want to change, where the member countries become at least a key producer and benefit from this $2.3 trillion global consumer economy, which others are benefiting. Why cannot we, and especially here in Nigeria, how can you become a big part of this? And I will share with you, where are you today in this $2.3 trillion consumer economy. And this doesn't even include, on the right side top, is Islamic finance, which I know there's a lot of great strides happening in Nigeria, which today globally represents about $3.8 trillion in assets and growing at 8.5% CAGR next 5 years. So all of these sectors, as you can see, are tremendous global sectors, growing very fast relative to the conventional or the rest of the economy. Just as a reference point, food alone represents 17% of total global food spending. So today, companies like Nestle and Unilever, all the big multinationals, are taking this seriously. They are investing in halal, and we are ignoring it. And I think I would actually say we were ignoring it. Alhamdulillah, now with leading countries in OIC, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, and inshallah, Nigeria, we will become a key part and benefit from this economy. Okay, if we move on. Now, let me share with you another point about halal. We are in a country of Nigeria where you're multicultural, you are, mashallah, a country from a faith point of view, represent Abrahamic faiths, right? And the beauty of halal today is it's a universal concept, which is being represented in consumer lifestyle. For Muslims, Islam is a way of life. And these values that are represented in halal food, which is about sustainability, treating the animal well, eating healthy, feeding the animal well, or how finance is fair and equitable, are all universal values. And these are universal Abrahamic values. And we see in countries similar to Nigeria, like in Malaysia, where Islamic finance has an appeal not just for Muslims. And indeed, halal is something that is universal, and it's the appeal of it is not just for Muslims. And very importantly, in Nigeria, that's how we need to position this, is this is something that is of good value that we all, as a nation of Nigeria, would get behind, because it brings good and khair to the community. Moving forward. Now let's look at Nigeria's situation. I shared with you the global picture. Nigeria today is the second largest consumer market of halal products and services, is $117 billion worth, estimated to grow at 10.7% CAGR through 2027 in these 6 sectors plus Islamic finance. So ladies and gentlemen, for Nigeria, this opportunity presents tremendous interest for foreign direct investments. You're amongst the OIC or halal consumer markets, you have a very big domestic market to attract investors, as well as help develop the domestic entrepreneurs and startups and ecosystem around this space. And I can tell you, having seen the developments in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, in Turkey, you have good reference points to not this is not something that has not been tried. This has been tried and tested successfully, and you are starting early, and I think you have good reference points in those other markets. If we move forward to the next slide, please. And when we look at regionally, Nigeria represents is the second largest halal consumer market in Africa, only after Egypt. It represents about 22.7% of the consumer spending market. As an opportunity, as I just mentioned, attracting FDI and domestic investments is where we need to focus within Nigeria, leveraging the. When we look at trade, this is where we are lagging behind. You have the strength of having a very strong consumer base, which needs to be developed. When it comes to trade, Nigeria's exports today represent only 5.7% of Africa's $4.2 billion export of halal products to OIC member countries. So if you look at that circle, Nigeria's exports of halal products today is only 5.7% of Africa's exports of halal products. So the opportunity here is there's a lot of room to drive export growth. And if you look at my second point, our second point in the report, that as Nigeria, interestingly, or I would say, as a matter of fact, your net importer of on your foreign exchange, on the opportunity to develop your domestic industry, and both these points, the opportunity to drive exports, an opportunity to reduce the import dependency in halal products for Nigeria's economy. Now, moving forward, there are certainly strengths that Nigeria has. As I mentioned, you are a second largest halal consumer. You're the 11th largest exporter of halal products. So you do have some industry sectors sectors, and we will, in the report, we have highlighted which specific sectors where you can play, so to say, in the investment space. Second, you have a fast growing and developing Islamic finance ecosystem, even Islamic fintech with the incorporation. And these are strengths that can be leveraged. And Nigeria overall has the reputation both on as a West Africa's fashion capital, as well as in the media space. You have basic ingredients to develop the halal or modest fashion space for the region, as well as media and recreation. Some of the challenges to overcome: logistic issues, which I know the government is investing quite a bit, and it's very encouraging already. The economic strategy to promote Islamic finance, as Her Excellency, the Minister of Finance had just alluded to. So with this in mind, what does the report specifically highlight as where and how big is the specific opportunity for Nigeria? Look at numbers. We spoke to consumers, we spoke to different young and old and the industry experts alike to get the pulse of how do people think about halal economy or halal market. And there's a lot of great insights. If we move to the next, I won't go through many of the quotes, but great insights on how the Nigerian consumers, the excitement around this is very promising, very encouraging. Our youth opportunity. And I think that would be the headline from me in terms of the insights. Again, you can see it in the report. Now, coming to specific goal, we studied every specific sector opportunity within Nigeria, and we have added up to present to you that within 4 years, Nigeria can incrementally add about $1.6 billion annually through incremental exports, attracting FDI, and facilitating import substitution. And this is a mid scenario. In the report, we've looked at different scenarios, and we've kind of rolled it up to this being your big goal. And as the new government comes in, this is a great strategic next 4-year potential plan. Let's move on, and I'll quickly. The report presents a framework by which where Nigeria can actually derive this new incremental impact, and what are the enabling pillars, which are the government commitment, the production capabilities, and the operation. And some of those points were also referenced by the Minister of Finance as well. Moving on. Specifically in halal products, and I'll cover halal products, Islamic finance, and the halal lifestyle sectors separately. In the report analysis, on which specific product categories can Nigeria play practically today? Because there's a lot of trade. As you saw, Nigeria only has 5% of the halal trade of Africa to OIC countries. And we identified these as the main 6 sectors. And we've also identified how much of this you can add to, because you have competency in these 6 halal product categories: animal fodder, meat and edible oil, and cocoa and cocoa preparation products, animal, vegetable, food and oils, and medicaments. And we've also looked at which countries you can focus your target for each of these product categories. So this is all detailed out in the report. The report is freely available for anyone on Dar Al Halal website. So this is on the halal product side. If you move to Islamic finance, one of the key opportunity areas for Islamic finances, both for its own growth and supporting the halal product and services industry, is to look at Sharia compliant working capital finance for this space, look at Sharia compliant asset finance for SMEs, Islamic fintech products for individual investment within the space. Again, there's a lot of successful reference points in Malaysia, Indonesia, UAE, Saudi, Turkey, etc., that are emerging. So we have a lot of good reference points, again, also highlighted in the report. If we move to the lifestyle sector, the current ecosystem of film and media to grow the halal lifestyle will build awareness amongst the young and the audience about the halal opportunity, which will galvanize the modest fashion and halal travel space as well. Because today, about $13 billion is the consumer spending that Nigeria has in these sectors alone related to halal opportunity. Okay, in conclusion, I will Tom. Again, it is my tremendous honor to be here, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adds barakah in all your efforts and make us all successful in this space. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Please put your hands together for the CEO, Dinar Standard. Before we move to the next item, I would wish the representative of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, fully represented by Muhammad Lawan Shuaibu. Please put your hands together for him. I also have here His Royal Highness Alhaji Nasiru Ado Bayero, represented by Alhaji Isiaku Wada Sarkin Bay. Please put your hands together for him. Also have here represented Muhammad Abakar, Minister, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, represented by Hajia Sugura Mahmoud. Please put your hands together for her. We also have the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Morocco, represented by MTL Amen. Please put your hands together for him, please. Here with us is the representative of the Minister of FCT, Muhammad Musa Bello, represented by A. Dabiri and Raji Taiwo. Please put your hands together for them. Lastly, I have here with me Engineer Rabi Usleiman, former Group Executive Director, NNPC, is here with us. Without wasting much time, I would want to welcome to the podium Alhaji Inwa Kashif Abdullahi, CCIC, the DGC, or National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, for his remarks. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Highness, Sarkin Kano, Alhaji to grow plants and meat from stem cell. So the halal sector need to look at it. Is it halal to eat a meat grown from stem cell? We're also talking about 3D bioprinting, where you can print an organ. You can print like kidney, heart, to replace in a human instead of getting it from another person. Is it also halal to use technology, 3D bioprinting to do that? So the halal sector need to look at this. When we talk about finance, we know without technology, finance today will collapse. The financial system. Most of us, we don't go to bank anymore. we bank from our mobile phones. Likewise, when you look at cosmetic, also today we use technology to come up with different types of cosmetics. Is it halal to use technology? Is it halal to use all the ingredients and use technology to change them? Then when you look at the fourth one, which is travel and tourism, also today technology is powering everything. With virtual reality, you don't even need to travel anymore. You can have the experience of all the trips and everything. Also, we need to look at it, how to make it, or how to carve out a halal way of doing all this. When you look at the media and content, that's where we have a big challenge. Today, we blame the West of spoiling our culture and value. But why can't we use and build Islamic gaming, Islamic media, Islamic platforms where we can make it halal for our children to use it, so that we can use halal characters, halal core values in all these games and content we create online. So I think IT has a critical role to play. And also we have a very huge market in that. And Nigeria has a competitive advantage when it comes to digital economy. We have one of the youngest population in the world. We have the talent, and we believe Nigeria can become the global talent factory. Government is doing all what is needed to position Nigeria as a global talent factory. Therefore, you have an opportunity also to harness what government is doing to position yourself, use technology, innovate, and create and capture value from the 6 halal economies mentioned by the report. Thank you very much. And at NIDA, we are available to partner with you in all what you do. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for the DG NIDA. You know, without technology, there will be virtually a slow motion or even a stagnant position in developing businesses and so many other ideas we have today. At this point, I wish to call on Dr. Mansour Motar, Vice President, Islamic Development Bank, for his keynote speech. Please put your hands together for him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Highness, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, CFR, JP, representatives of honorable ministers here present, representatives of ambassadors, representatives of other government agencies, and the CEO of Dar Al Halal, the CEO of Dinar Standard, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Permit me to begin by offering my Eid greetings to this august gathering. Celebratory moments like this give humanity the opportunity to strengthen our resolve to restore the spirit of fraternity and harmony. May Allah bless us all with abundant health and peace. And before I delve into my keynote address, I would like to seize this opportunity to pay tribute to our royal father of the day, His Highness Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, Emir of Kano, who has graciously honored us with his presence at today's event, despite having only recently finished the rigorous and demanding rites and ceremonies accompanying the Eid. His presence here today is a clear attestation of his commitment to promoting the Islamic way of life in general and promoting the halal industry in Nigeria for the well-being of the people and economic progress of the country. Thank you, Your Highness. Now back to the keynote address. It is indeed my pleasure to be part of this important event, the launch of the Nigeria Halal Market Report 2023. Allow me to express my sincere thanks and appreciation for the invitation as a guest of honor and to deliver the keynote address. The Islamic Development Bank believes in the critical role of halal business in fostering social and economic development of countries. I also wish to commend Dar Al Halal Nigeria for their interest in promoting the halal industry in Nigeria and commissioning Dinar Standard to produce this well-researched study on Nigeria's halal market prospects and opportunities. This is a crucial first step in positioning Nigeria as a dominant player in the halal industry. I have interacted with both the institutions and the CEOs, and I'm encouraged by their passion and interest in this area, matched by energy and enthusiasm. I wish them all the best in their laudable endeavors, and may Allah reward them for their efforts. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, undoubtedly, interest in halal products and services has grown tremendously in recent years around the globe, in both Muslim and non-Muslim countries. Most recent estimates indicate that the world's 1.8 billion Muslims spent the equivalent in 2022 across the halal food, pharmaceutical, cosmetics, fashion, travel, and medical recreation sectors. Despite the continued uncertainty in the global economy, the food sector is the most significant component of the halal economy, with spending on halal food by Muslims valued at around $1.3 trillion in 2022 and projected to reach $1.67 trillion in 2025. The growing demand for halal products and services is also creating more opportunities for investment in the halal industry, as well as avenues for export and intra-trade of halal products. It is enabling new opportunities for more halal entrepreneurs to participate in the industry and for companies to expand into halal products as well as services. Hence, enter new markets, generate more revenues, and create additional job opportunities. Many countries consciously try to develop their halal economies and capture the potential halal market. Malaysia, Indonesia, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey are among the most active nations articulating clear visions of becoming hubs for the global halal trade. Even non-majority Muslim countries like Thailand Australia and Brazil are among the top halal meat and poultry suppliers in countries in the Middle East. Excellencies, Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, as one of the largest global Muslim populations and building on its strong agriculture sector, Nigeria indeed has great potential to expand its halal market and contribute to the growth of the global halal industry while reaping immense benefits. And developing the halal industry in Nigeria has numerous benefits for the economy and the people. Nigeria can tap into the growing global halal market by developing the halal industry and creating new opportunities for businesses and entrepreneurs. This can lead to the creation of new jobs and income streams, as well as diversified source of foreign exchange earnings and reduction in the import bills that have been used to import products. All of these can help boost the economy. Additionally, developing the halal industry will attract investors to Nigeria and help position the country as a hub for halal products in Africa. At the individual level, developing the halal industry allows us to cater for the needs of the Muslim community in the country. Halal products are an essential part of the daily lives of Muslims. However, as highlighted in the report that's been launched today, closer cooperation is needed between industry players and the government to build a halal economy, as well as strategy and regulations to efficiently meet the local and regional demand for halal products and services. Indeed, the development of sustainable halal industry requires the adoption of an enabling ecosystem at the national level, including long-term strategies, supporting policies, qualified human capital, institutional framework for standardization, certification, and accreditation, awareness programs for the various stakeholders and consumers, as well as the use of new technologies aimed at increasing efficiency in halal manufacturing and distribution processes, as well as improving traceability, visibility, and consumer trust. Drawing on lessons of experience, to be considered. First and foremost is the establishment of a regulatory framework, an essential step in developing the halal industry is to establish a regulatory framework that sets out the standards and guidelines and distribution of halal products. Third is developing halal certification bodies. Halal certification bodies are responsible for ensuring that products meet the halal standards set out in the regulatory framework. Creating these bodies is crucial to ensuring the integrity of the halal certification process. Fourth is promoting awareness and education. Raising awareness about the importance of halal products and educating the public about the halal industry is crucial in stimulating demand for halal products and services. This also helps create a positive image of the industry. This is particularly important in a multi-faith society like Nigeria, where it is easy to distort the narrative or to politicize the issue. Fifth, providing halal industry training. Training should be provided to those involved in producing, distributing, and marketing halal products to ensure that they adhere to the required standards. Six, creating a halal industry development plan. It is considered valuable to develop a comprehensive plan to guide the development of the halal industry, considering the country's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and drawing on lessons of experience and best practices from countries around the world. Seventh, conducting halal industry research. Research should be undertaken to understand the needs and wants of the target market, to identify potential partners and determine the market potential for halal products. Eighth is encouraging investment. Encouraging local and foreign investment in the halal industry is crucial in promoting growth and development. This can be done by offering investors incentives, tax breaks, and other forms of support by government. Ninth, fostering international partnerships. Here, fostering international partnerships with other countries and organizations that have established halal industries provides opportunities to access expertise, technology, and markets, and help position the country as a hub for halal products in the region. The Islamic Development Bank is ramping up its support for the development of halal industry. To facilitate this, we established a Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2021. with the mandate among other is a collaboration with Halal Development Cooperation of Malaysia to undertake halal industry ecosystem assessment with the objective of identifying critical components of halal industry, the best practices, and the gap analysis within 22 countries around the world. The assessment served to identify opportunities for strengthening of halal ecosystems in potential countries and to uncover potential opportunities for integration of the halal value chain. We also have other initiatives, ongoing initiatives. Our regional office in Ankara, Turkey, is collaborating with the government of Azerbaijan, represented by the Ministry of Economy, to support the development of the country's halal ecosystem through the development of a master plan. The Islamic Development Bank will be happy to cooperate with relevant stakeholders in Nigeria to support the country in building its halal ecosystem and to cement its leadership potential in the regional halal economy. Within this context, we would be happy to provide capacity building support, including facilitating cooperation initiatives with other countries to share experiences and exchange information and knowledge. And I again reiterate the commitment of the Islamic Development Bank to support the growth of the halal industry, given its significant and fast-growing scale, as well as its strategic importance to member countries and the world at large. I would like to call upon relevant institutions, the national public and private halal organizations, and halal experts to cooperate with us in launching concrete initiatives for supporting halal industry and facilitating trade and investment in halal products and services. Your Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I seize this opportunity to bring to your attention an important flagship event hosted by the Islamic Development Bank to promote the halal industry, and would like to invite interested parties' participation in this event. Every year, the Islamic Development Bank Group organizes annual meetings that bring together delegates from the group's 57 member countries and observers from international and regional organizations to, among other things, discuss development issues, strengthen networking relationships, as well as share knowledge and experience. During these annual meetings, a halal industry event is organized to share experiences, success stories, and best practices in promoting meeting will be held from 10th of May, that is in a few days' time, in less than 2 weeks' time, to 14th of May in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And a halal event is being organized in cooperation with Saudi Halal Products Development Company. The bank has invited the Minister of Finance, Hajia Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, and Muhammad Dikkoladan, CEO of Dar Al Halal Nigeria, to address the opening session of this event, which will be an opportunity really to share the main findings of the report that was launched right now on Nigeria halal market prospects and opportunities. And it's also an opportunity to discuss ways and means to foster cooperation between Nigeria and other SDB member countries in promoting halal industry in Nigeria and globally. So we would really welcome participation. We know that there are many Nigerian institutions and individuals that participate in these meetings. I would like to draw their attention to this important event and really invite their active participation. And I really want to thank the team from Dar Al Halal and Dinar Standards for this brilliant piece of work that has really addressed many of the issues that I discussed in terms of the ecosystem needed to provide a sustainable and a viable halal industry. I think we are off to a good start, and I want to thank you for your efforts. And as I conclude, I want to draw attention to the relationship between Nigeria and the Islamic Development Bank. The Islamic Development Bank is an international financial institution which was established in 1975 to promote economic development and social progress in its member countries, which include Nigeria, 57 member countries. It provides support to these countries in the form of financing of development projects, trade financing, private sector financing, provision of guarantees, capacity building support, technical assistance, and advisory services, among other areas. Since joining ISDB as a member, Nigeria has received significant support from the bank in its development efforts. Notably, the bank has provided funding for constructing roads, bridges, and other transportation infrastructure. In addition to infrastructure financing, the Islamic Development Bank has also supported Nigeria's agricultural development. We have, in addition, provided financing for education and health projects. Furthermore, the bank has played an important role in promoting Islamic finance in Nigeria and other countries around the world, of course. It has supported the development of Islamic banking through direct equity investment, for example, in Jaiz Bank, as well as through provision of technical assistance and training to Nigerian financial institutions to help them develop Islamic finance products. The Islamic Development Bank has also provided financing for Islamic finance projects. Cumulatively, since Nigeria joined the group, it has benefited from a total financing of about $1.9 billion for Nigeria. This includes about $933 million in project financing, $507 million in trade operations, as well as $90 million that were provided by other ISDB group funds and operations. To recapitulate, the Islamic Development Bank has been a key partner in supporting Nigeria's development efforts. The bank has provided financing for infrastructure, agriculture, education, health, and Islamic finance. And ISDB support has helped to create jobs, alhamdulillah, improve food security, and enhance access to education and healthcare in Nigeria. As Nigeria continues to pursue its development agenda, the Islamic Development Bank pledges to remain an important partner in supporting the country's efforts to achieve its development goals. The bank also keenly looks forward to further strengthening its cooperation and relationship with Nigeria in nurturing the growth of the halal industry. In closing, I once again reiterate my sincere appreciation to Dar Al Halal Nigeria for inviting the Islamic Development Bank to this event. I thank you for your kind attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can you please put your hands together for Dr. Mansour? You know, in the program, it was said it's a keynote speech. I never knew it's another report, actually. But I must say there was so much that has been said, and of course, we are taking home. At this point, I will call on the Director General, Islamic Organization for Food Security, IOFS, for his remarks. His Excellency Professor Yalan Bandulet. Can you please put your hands together for him, please? Okay, he's going to join us via Zoom. His remarks will be via Zoom. So I think the media team will have to project that on the screen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor and privilege for me to deliver a remark today online on behalf of the Islamic Organization for Food Security at such a significant event focused on Nigeria halal market development. I would like to thank Dar Al Halal Nigeria Limited for such an exceptional initiative and willingness to enhance the Nigeria halal market, and IFS from its side would encourage this initiative for future mutual contribution. I'd like to welcome everyone who has come to the event today from Nigeria government, private sector, and other relevant institutions. I hope that today's meeting will be a good start for boosting the Nigeria halal market, and our strong cooperation and work will lead us to significant results in achieving such high standards for food security in Nigeria and serving the country as a model for the rest of OIC Africa member countries. Global crisis and ongoing geopolitical developments have highlighted the weakening of the food security in every country, including the majority of OIC member states. Food insecurity is a severe growing problem for the government and people in Nigeria. Nigeria, which is expected to become the world's third most populous country by 2050, urgently has to address food security challenges. To survive and have a bright future, the Nigerian government and businesses, as well as international organizations such as IFS, must adopt preventive measures and call for the development of more such initiatives and projects that would allow for sustainable agricultural growth. In general, the economic potentials of Nigerian agriculture are enormous, with the high revenue yields from the both domestic value addition and derived income, as well as revenues for the government. Agriculture is the second most important sector of the economy of Nigeria and has a big potential for the growth. Nigeria has 70.8 million hectares of agricultural land area with the maize, cassava, Guinea corn, yam beans, millet, and rice being the major crops. As for cassava, Nigeria produces approximately 20% of the global production. But we consider that the best opportunities of Nigeria is with the domestic meat market development, especially neighboring such Sahel countries as Niger and Chad, with their vast livestock resources. We recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Dar Al Halal Nigeria Limited on the establishment of Nigeria National Halal Meat Hub for local consumption, exportation to West Africa, African sub-regions, Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, and OIC countries that will boost the development of livestock and meat industry, as well as encourage the market for standardization, improvements of quality, production, and safeguard against diseases, including transboundary animal diseases. I hope that ISDB group, who represented today by my very great brother, Dr. Mukhtar Mansour, would pay its great attention to this project, which we are going to present very soon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to briefly introduce IFS. The Islamic Organization of Food Security oversees the 16 strategic programs aimed on improving food security in the IFS and OIC member countries, and expanding cooperation in agriculture, rural development, and trade. In this context, we at IFS believe that the value of being a member state may be seen as the following 16 programs, which are implemented within the scope of the 5 pillars of the IFS 2031 strategic vision. The first, governance enablement, where we facilitate effective member state food security policies and regulatory frameworks while assessing and monitoring their food security needs for effective decision making. Second, food crisis response needs to be done through the establishment of food security reserve in regions prone to famine to cover their food shortages and support price stability. During that process, we should address immediate hunger hotspots by establishing humanitarian food relief programs to support crisis hit situation there. The third, capacity building, which means that we are to provide technical expertise to strengthen member state capacity in plant and animal genetic resources, strategic commodities, healthy and safe food ecosystem, climate impact and resource management, bio and agri technologies. Fourth, industry development is to strengthen agri-food industry competitiveness, to enable export growth by large to SMEs, development of local trade, and post-harvest loss management. We should never lose sight of developing necessary infrastructure for food processing, which is of vital importance for many OIC countries. In this regard, we have created a subsidiary, International Islamic Food Processing Association, IFPA, that is a platform for agri-food trade and its investment. IFPA brings together all food associations, unions, chambers, and other relevant umbrella bodies for direct engagement between all ecosystem players in the OIC IFS member states. Currently, there are more than 50 honorary and corporate members, and IFPA is engaged with about 28 OIC countries. And we're proud to inform that our partners and the colleague in Nigeria is Dar Al Halal, which is corporate member of IFPA. We believe tomorrow it will be a platform for thousands of participants from all 57 OIC countries. Finally, and perhaps the pillar that feeds all the previous ones, is resource mobilization. We all must sensitize in being able to mobilize food security focused financial resources to support food security and system, while being able to facilitate financial collaboration to support special projects and investments. We adopted important projects to further develop agriculture and food insecurity. Among these projects, there are some directly related to the African continent in lines with the IFS African Food Security Initiative program. Excellencies, dear participants, it is important to point out that the African regional group is represented in a greater number of countries than the other regional groupings within the OIC geographical distribution. Besides the fact that the number suffering from the hunger continues to increase in the region, and the region food security is low, Africa food sector is expected to grow from 313 billion in 2010 to 1 trillion in 2030. Many experts are considering Africa as a food basket of the planet for the 21st century. As for the Dar Al Halal initiative of the halal market development, it is a perfect opportunity to standardize the meat market in accordance with the Sharia requirements and provide local population with the quality products in their diet, especially considering the density of the Nigerian population and ever-growing Muslim portion of it. The halal market development will go further with the joint IFS and Dar Al Halal project for the Nigerian meat hub, aiming to exploring vast potential of Nigeria and the region to provide domestic and regional markets of the West Africa, with the products contain high protein value. Also, this project will be exploiting potential of the neighboring Niger and Chad in the livestock to expand supply of the meat products into the inter-regional OIC scale. In this context, IFS seeks to support the growth of the agri-food private sector, harness the African region export potential within OIC trade, and promote investment in the region. And we urge you to join us in our efforts to improve the food security, inshallah. I thank you all for your kind attention. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, Madam Latifa, can you hear us? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we can't hear you yet. Yeah, perhaps you're muted or the media here. Madam Latifa, we're just making sure we can hear you. We cannot hear you still.
You hear me now, Mr.
Yes,
Biko?
yes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You have the floor. You have the floor, please.
Thank you. Thank you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على مولانا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear sister, dear brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, OIC countries are given more and more importance to develop halal economy and are more than ever on its contribution to economic growth, and that it is the source of many growth drivers. Therefore, many OIC countries in Central and South Asia, as well as in Gulf countries and Africa, made great efforts to enhance the halal industry as a promising part in their economy by providing dedicated strategies to empower companies working in halal economy. To drive this opportunity, all stakeholders have a key role to play, starting by governments that need to reinforce related regulation by implementing certification bodies all along the world and adopting laws that impose respecting halal standards for accessing their markets. Government should also provide specialized schools and universities that can deliver capacity building programs for public and private sectors. Besides, consumers shall also play their part by increasingly looking for sustainable and ethical products, which halal certified products can tap into. Private companies have to demonstrate that meeting halal standards is not at only a religious side, but also a way to face the new ecological and ethical challenges and international standards, and then to improve its competitiveness at international level. Ladies and gentlemen, to drive this sector, we need also to address some challenges at OIC's market level. The major gap in the halal economy ecosystem in OIC are many countries still do not have the regulation to control the imports of halal products, the wrong perception that Muslim consumers' markets is not large enough to focus on halal industry, lack of capacity building programs to ensure the comprehensive of the importance of halal economy at national and regional level, lack of sensitizing governments to produce laws and regulation on halal development standards, absence of mutual recognition of standards in between OIC countries within SMIC program, weakness of accompanying private sector to participate in halal activities at national and international levels, and lack of interest of private sector of investing in halal industry development. To ensure the success in this sector, we propose at ICDT as core pillars of a successful, vibrant halal economy in OIC, raising awareness of importance of halal sector by initiating capacity building programs, developing dedicated policies, involving private sector in collaboration with national and regional institutions, sharing experiences with halal industry in advanced countries, and unification of halal standards for various aspects of the halal economy among different countries, or at least the mutual recognition of country standards and accreditation bodies among the OIC countries. Besides of that, the success of a vibrant halal economy in OIC lies on the consumer education and the role that all stakeholders have to play in providing it. Many Muslims consider that halal standards apply to only food sector, while they cover many sectors such as cosmetics, pharmaceutical, travel, education, modest fashion, finance, and other sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, ICDT as a subsidiary organ of OIC is entrusted to accompany member countries at public and private sectors to boost their competitiveness in trade and investment fields, especially in the halal economy. In this regard, many programs have been developed by ICDT, such as the IC Halal Trade Expositions and Forums, aiming to promote products and services related to halal industry, enable the actors of the halal industry to promote their products and services through a professional exhibitions, enable decision makers and experts to exchange their experiences on the halal industry, develop partnership and strategic alliances between the actors of these sectors, facilitate the dissemination of information on intra-OIC supply and demand of products and services related to the sector covered by the fields, create a platform for meetings between professionals, facilitate the access of the participants to innovative products and expertise in the field of new technique related to halal industry. ICDT also organized panels and workshops on halal certification, organized capacity building programs related to halal issues, and proceed to edition of an annual report of OIC halal economy and concepts of a OIC halal dashboard interactive platform that is available on our website. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to seize this great opportunity to invite you to have more details about OIC market of halal economy, to invite you to consult the report elaborated by ICDT, the annual report that the first edition was launched last year, and the report is available on our website. I also would like to seize this opportunity to invite you to our next halal exhibition that will be held in Tunisia on from 31 May to 3 June, and you are all invited to participate with us in this very important event. To conclude my intervention, I would like to thank deeply the organizer of this important event for joining ICDT, and to congratulate Nigerian authorities, especially Dar Al Halal, for the efforts made to develop this sector in Nigeria, and to congratulate and thank Dar Al Halal for elaborating and launching and sharing these reports with us. Thank you very much.
Appreciate the Director General of Islamic Center for Development of Trade. Please appreciate her. That was a wonderful remark. Without wasting more time, I wish to welcome to the podium the royal father of this occasion and the chairman of this occasion, His Royal Highness, the Sarkin Kano, Al-Haji Aminu Ado Bayero, CFR JP, for his remarks. Please put your hands together for him.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على النبي الكريم. Distinguished guests that are many here, time not on our side, I may not necessarily mention all of them, but I have high respect and regards for all the participants, and I welcome you to this program. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. We are honored to be invited here today to witness the official presentation of the Nigerian Halal Market Report 2023. As we know, Nigeria is home to one of the largest Muslim populations in the world, and this presents a unique opportunity for businesses and investors to tap into the growing demand for halal products and services. The halal market in Nigeria is already one of the largest in the world, with domestic spending on halal economic products and services reaching $107 billion in 2022. The whopping figure is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 10.7% over the next 5 years, reaching a projected $180 billion by 2027. This presents a significant opportunity for businesses and investors to capitalize on the growing demand for halal products and services in Nigeria and contribute to the growth of the global halal industry. One of the key benefits of the halal market in Nigeria is the potential for job creation and economic growth. As businesses and investors enter the halal market, they will create employment opportunities for Nigerians, especially in the agriculture, food processing, the film industry, and logistics sectors. This will not only benefit individuals and families across the country, but will also contribute to the overall economic development of our country. In addition to job creation and economic growth, the halal market in Nigeria also presents an opportunity for businesses to expand their customer base and reach new markets. As more and more Muslims in Nigeria and around the world seek our halal products and services, businesses that can meet this demand will be well positioned to establish themselves as leaders in the halal industry and expand their reach both domestically and internationally. Moreover, By investing in the halal market in Nigeria, businesses and investors can play a pivotal role in promoting social and environmental sustainability. Halal products and services are often produced using sustainable and ethical best practices, which can help to promote environmental conservation, animal welfare, and social responsibility. We therefore clearly see that investing in the halal market in Nigeria can also help to enhance the country's global reputation and contribute to its economic development. As Nigeria continues to establish itself as a key player in the global halal industry, it will attract more foreign investment and create new opportunities for businesses and investors across the country. All said, the future of halal market in Nigeria is bright, and it presents a unique opportunity for entrepreneurs to exploit the huge market and limitless opportunities. We urge you all to consider investing and supporting the untapped halal market. By working together to cultivate this market, we can unlock its potential and contribute to the growth of the global halal industry. We wish to thank the organizers of this important presentation and also commend the efforts of the expert presenters for shedding light on this relatively unexplored area of the economy. We welcome all participants and representatives of various sectors here present. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. At this point, in just 1 minute, we would want to observe an official presentation of the Halal Report 2023 to His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano. This presentation will be done by the CEO of Dar Al Halal, Alhaji Muhammadu Dukkoladan, and the CEO of Dinar Standard. Cameras, pictures. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Before we move ahead to the panel discussion, there are some remarks that was made by the Director General of Islamic Organization for Food Security, IOFS, one of which is the announcement that the first meat hub for Africa will be sited in Nigeria, and then in partnership with Dar Al Halal. I think this calls for a great celebration. We have our panelists here who will be mounting the seat right behind me. We have Farouk Dalhatu. Please put your hands together for him. These are experts in diverse field of profession. Farouk Dalhatu is in fintech. And then we have Mrs. Sugura Mahmoud, Agric. Yes, Department of Agriculture. And then we have Isatu Jalo. Isatu Jalo, fashion. Please put your hands together for her. Also have Hafsat Najib Hassan. Hafsat Najib Hassan. She's into fashion as well. Please put your hands together for her. Also have Al-Haji Musbahu Abdul Aziz, an expert in finance. Please put your hands together for him. Also have Hajia Amina Muhammad. Hajia Amina Muhammad, Women and Youth Development. And then from here, I will hand over to the CEO of Dinar Standard, as he will be the one to moderate this panel discussion. Thank you.
Once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh all. Alhamdulillah, we have had a great set of insights and facts shared with you, and a grand vision, as Your Highness you presented, and other excellencies have presented in terms of Nigeria's role and the opportunity. And I'm privileged to see a very talented and exciting panel from whom we would like to hear your views and insights and and your thoughts about how Nigeria, the perspectives you heard today. It's exciting to see the different diversity of sectors you represent. And inshallah, I will start with some questions, but before that, I'd like to acknowledge the different representatives of the different countries that we have today, starting with Ambassador, His Excellency Muhammadu Musa Nje from Gambia, as well as representatives from Saudi Arabia, Mr. Munir Al-Harbi, and Mr. Ahmed Al-Minsid from Qatar, MT Al-Amani from Morocco, Sidi Gabar Fall from Senegal. It's very important to have your presence here, and I would welcome to actually start to invite if any of you would like to make any comments. As you saw that not only does Nigeria have an opportunity to galvanize Africa's role in halal economy, but also seeing the leadership of other nations such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Morocco, Senegal, who are all actively looking at this opportunity as well. So if you'd like to say a few words, I'll welcome, just short comments. If any of you'd like to say a few comments. If not, I will highlight a few things in particular, because this is important for Nigeria to see how we can collaborate with other halal markets. In particular, Saudi Arabia, which is obviously the center of the Muslim world for for being the land of our holy places and where our beloved Prophet ﷺ is and the great tradition of Islam began with. Saudi Arabia now has taken very serious and active interest in investing in the halal space. And again, it's a great reference for Nigeria to look out to, and we congratulate the initiatives and efforts that are going on in Saudi Arabia. As well as in Qatar, we recently saw that one of the investment agencies had released their initiative around investing in the halal space as well. And as you heard from Her Excellency Latifa, who even though representing an OIC body, ICDT, is secretariat being in Morocco, where Morocco is also taking good interest and supporting various initiatives of OIC, such as following the halal regulatory standards as set up under SMEEC, which I think is important to also highlight. I would also mention that Senegal is also taking tremendous interest in halal and now hosting some halal events and conferences, as well as Gambia's interest in halal and opportunity is certainly acknowledged. So it's with this context, we've heard about the Nigeria Halal Report, and obviously you've all heard the numbers, and you've all seen the excitement that is represented by something that is global indeed. And not just as in the report that you saw, the halal consumer market is global. It's not just for Muslim market. Today in countries such as even United States or India and other, halal is now being consumed as a product that is good and healthy and tayyib, so forth. So I'd like to start with the panel, and I'll start with Farouk, yourself from the right-hand side. One of the exciting I'll pass the microphone, that's fine. One of the exciting things about Nigeria is the development of fintech. You know, we heard from His Excellency talk about the role of digitization and the youth and the young in Nigeria, which, by the way, if we look at the overall Muslim population, it's one of the youngest population in most relative to the rest of the world, and same is true in Nigeria. So Farouk, what are your thoughts about fintech's role in the Nigeria halal economy?
Hi. Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. So when it comes to fintech, there's a lot of growth that has happened internationally that we can easily mimic in Nigeria. For example, if we look at the transformation journey that has happened in financial technology from, say, 2008 all the way to 2021, 2022, tremendous amount of development has happened. Financial technology started as a journey of how do I automate and present to my customers my service offerings from companies that are consultants firms or banks or other financial institutes. But now it has grown to such a level where we can actually curate the Islamic financial rules and guidance into financial technology offerings. For example, in terms of contract negotiations and formations, AI and machine learning is used to make sure that no funny business is added into Islamically guided financial contracts, right? In terms of certifying companies that should be invested by financial models or that should be put into the financial model of investment. And those are the kind of things that will be of great value to Nigeria. We are a people of culture and values. So the Muslims in Nigeria would find it very important that Islamic culture and Islamic finance is implemented in their investment, in their businesses, and in the growth of their wealth. So we can develop applications, we can integrate these applications to the existing financial systems in Nigeria, for which the Islamic demographic would be of great use to the financial guidance and the financial model of Islamic architecture. So I believe there's a tremendous amount of growth and there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. My company in Al Zara and other companies like mine have already started looking at opportunities to develop applications and solutions, my apologies. We've started looking at opportunities to develop solutions for small, mid, and large-scale companies in Nigeria with the specific aim to meet the entire demographic, translating it into Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo for the consumption of the Nigerian populace, and trying to make it as mainstream as possible.
Great. So how many in the audience have a fintech app? They use fintech for payments or for investments or for any other financial service? I just want to get a sense, Farouk, from the room. Can everybody, right?
Almost everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's not it's almost a given.
It's almost a given.
Now the question is, how do we take it forward and how do we make it apply and support the halal market? I'll come back to you with that question, because I think while Islamic fintech and fintech in Nigeria is developing fast, as is evidence, the question is, how does it relate to the halal industry? All right, so to think about that. I'll come back to that. And with that, I'll come to Mrs. Sugura Muhammad. One of the things, Sugura, we highlighted in the report is obviously Nigeria's strong agriculture base, right? And at the same time, Nigeria is a net importer of a lot of food products, halal products. And you see the tremendous opportunity where Africa itself is a major exporter of halal products, and Nigeria has only 5% or some role. Where do you see, how do you and where do you see Nigeria's agriculture sector leveraging this halal market opportunity?
Thank you very much. My name is Sugra Mahmoud.
Sorry.
Yes. There is the highlights you presented earlier really showed us the deficit in what we're doing and the opportunities, because whenever you present a problem, it's also an opportunity. Absolutely. So for us, it gives us like a very huge opportunity to make it happen for the Nigerian agricultural sector in a way that it will participate adequately and get a very huge market share from the global halal market. Now, agriculture in itself is both a consumer and also a producer of halal products. And how do I mean? In terms of food, which is the biggest, ethical issue we have as Muslims for halal, yes? And it is the producer of food. So for that, it is positioned it is adequately positioned to provide the products that we need and leverage that opportunity from the halal global market. But it's also a consumer in terms of when you talk about what my brother was talking about, the fintech, finance market. A lot of our people shy away from engaging adequately with the financial market because of interest. Now we have a dearth of products that service our needs as Muslims in the financial subsector of the halal economy. So that is a great opportunity for the likes of Farouk and Taj Bank and other people to actually leverage and support the agricultural sector to do what it does best, which is to produce the halal products. Now, apart from that, the tourism aspect, ecotourism, basically agriculture underpins ecotourism. Whether you're talking about the food, whether you're talking about the engagement with the environment, agriculture underpins that. And for us to do it in a halal manner, it is also an opportunity for the agricultural sector to leverage. Those are the opportunities I see, and the numbers you presented are colossal. So, but in terms of what we're doing as a Nigerian government, we have a committee which is led by Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment that is working on halal certification. In the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, we have developed a document we call the Nigeria Integrated Export Control Plan, which is touching on not just halal, but everything that we export to meet the standards, including that of halal consumers, to meet the standards, and also talking about food safety in the market, in the agricultural market, in all our products that we export. But before we export, we must meet the Nigerian standard, which means we must produce halal products and other products that meet the standard of the Nigerian people so that they can have safe and wholesome food. And it also speaks to our spiritual needs. So agriculture can leverage on all of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sura. All the points you touched on show the sophistication of already the initiatives underway. And hopefully this work, this report gives you additional insights and focus areas to develop the opportunity in the categories of agriculture. You touched upon the role of technology, financing. I think there's a lot within your domain that can be leveraged for Nigeria. And I'll come back with some further specific questions. All right, now let's move to something exciting, which is modest fashion space. And as someone had mentioned earlier, or Her Excellency Latifa was talking about, people think of halal as just halal meat or food, whereas today the halal lifestyle market covers all the sectors that are affected by the good values that Muslims present to the world. And one of them is modest fashion. And the importance within Nigeria of this space, modest fashion, as well as I will add media, and I know we have the media representatives covering this, is it will bring the awareness. These are the sectors that build not only the economic opportunity, but also help grow other sectors, because through them, other sectors, fintech, agriculture, food, are also, the awareness develops. So with that, I'll start, and I know we have Ms. Jallo from Gambia, and I think showing the importance of overall West Africa in this opportunity and collaboration across West African countries. Speak to us about the unique proposition that modest fashion, not just in modesty, but in sustainability and in the good values that it represents, and how you are manifesting it in the region.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mama Isetu Jallo from the Gambia. We are participating when it comes to like the model side on fashion and everything. As you know, Gambia, 85% are Muslims in the Gambia. So because of that,
could you speak a little bit closer to the mic?
Okay. What I mean is, in the Gambia, 85% of the population are Muslims. So we focused on because that's what exactly that what we know, and that's what we follow, to make sure that people are dressed in a well presentable manner, because this is what we are taught as Muslims. So that's why we focus on the fashion side of modesty, and we've been partnering with young people, young talented Gambians, outsourcing those things with them to make sure that we are everyone is dressed accordingly in an ethical manner, in a Muslim way, as we are.
MashaAllah. And I think you're being very modest as you're a representative of modest fashion. I think you're being modest in presenting the great work, because you described how the supply chain is distributed, how the different contributors are being supported through the work you do. And this is really the great contribution of the halal ecosystem. It's not just about profit maximization. It's about ethical way of doing business. And I think your work is a great exemplar of that. So thank you so much. And we'll come back to that. Okay. Continuing on to fashion, Ms. Hafsat Najib Hassan, please tell us, I kind of set the stage, but tell us about yourself and how you see the growth of this modest fashion space and its contribution in the wider halal lifestyle in Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Hafsat Najib Hussain, and I can say I actually found myself in fashion accidentally. It was something that started as a hobby about 3-4 years ago. I started small at home myself, using thread and needle. And today we have over 20 employees. We have turnover of over $100,000 within the space of 2 years. There's tremendous opportunity in the fashion industry. And when you talk of fashion, modest fashion, I will not call it halal fashion because halal fashion is basically burqa. The thing with modest fashion is its appeal goes beyond Muslims. There's a certain revulsion now against vulgar dressing across all cultures, all religions. So we try to focus on modest fashion, and a trend I noticed before, like almost everybody here has a personal tailor. The fashion culture in Nigeria is you buy your fabrics, you take it to the tailor, he sews for you, bespoke fashion. There's hardly any market for ready to wear. I was actually prompted by my customers, don't you have just something we can buy off the rack, something off the rack? And now I'm focusing my fashion more towards ready to wear than the bespoke, because there's a huge market for it. The lifestyle is changing. People don't have the time to be going to the market, buying fabrics, going all over chasing a tailor. You just want simplicity. People are busy with their lives. They just want something they can buy off the rack. And there's a move towards e-commerce. You can notice the trend globally. A lot of brick and mortar stores are closing. Amazon is taking over. Namshi is taking over. Shein is taking over. Like Shein is a fashion site. It's a China-based company, but you can see for their modest fashion, they have a 37% sold out rate compared to their overall fashion, which has a 25% sold out rate. That goes to show you there's more interest in modest fashion. So like my colleague here said, fintech, that is the driver of, it's an ecosystem. You can't operate in isolation. The whole world is moving towards e-commerce, and that is where we need fintech people. And the challenge for Nigerians is fintech. We're still in our infancy. We're developing, but we're getting there. Despite all the challenges we're facing, we're still thriving. And I think there's room for more. And what I want to focus most on is promoting our traditions and culture. Like my fashion house, I have a niche. I focus on hand embroideries, hand beading, our traditional local fabrics. And you can see in the world, you talk of shibori fabric, it's globally well known. It's a Japanese fabric. Mm-hmm. You know, when you talk high-end handmade fabrics, everybody says shibori, shibori. But we have exactly that. We have the Kofarmata dye pit in Kano that produces the same shibori, you know, technique that has been passed down from generation over 1,000 years, using sustainable cotton produced in Nigeria. So we don't have the awareness. We are not marketing our products globally. With time, everything will change. Baby steps, eventually we'll get there. They say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and alhamdulillah, we're taking that single step.
Alhamdulillah, and congratulations on your journey, mashallah. It's great, and I think such entrepreneurship is very encouraging as role models for other young youth. And certainly modest fashion, one of the things I will say to your point about the values base that we're all hearing, again, in a country like Nigeria, but really as part of the global community, we should really be very open to the good values that this sector brings for everyone. In each of these sectors, there's khair and universality, right? Such as modesty or fair financing or healthy and halal eating and etc. And I think one of the things I will just say, again, that learning from others today, you know, in our work around the world, we see the development of modest fashion. Something amazing is happening, for example, in Indonesia. It's been happening in Turkey, in the Khalij. And as you know, as we are taught, and I refer to the ayah from the Quran about Allah has created us in tribes so we may get to know one another. I think modest fashion is one way in which the beauty and the tapestry of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's diversity is being manifested in an amazing way. And I think from a business point of view, we should also look to these other collaborations across West Africa, across Asia, across the world, in fact. So congratulations. And I think this is a great development that's already happening in Nigeria as well. Speaking of the youth, I'd like to move to, in the role of youth and entrepreneurship, Madam Hajia Amina Muhammad. If you can share how youth can really engage and be excited about the halal market opportunity in Nigeria. We are seeing the youth in Indonesia, the youth in the West even, the Muslim youth, getting galvanized and excited and being proud of their Muslim identity by using the manifestation that the halal market is providing them. How do you see this in the youth ecosystem? And please feel free to introduce the work you do as well.
Actually, throughout my life, I've been working with women and youth as a community development officer and also as head of programs in a foundation named after late Sir Ahmad Bello, former Premier of Northern Nigeria. And personally, when we're talking about sharing, about sharing that market potential, I think special attention needs to be given to women and youth. Because, you know, in my experience, I've organized women and youth, but not as individuals, but as cooperatives. And you find, even in Nigeria, a lot of the farming, agricultural products that are produced mainly by women and youth. And I'm sure that the amount of money that His Royal Highness was mentioning as a profit we've been gaining, about 60% is products of women and youth. So they really need to have special attention. We organize. We organize them as cooperatives, and I'm sure some of them are probably linked up to date to see what is happening today, because they produce all sorts of tailoring, food products, and also using our local, for example, the baobab tree, which is called kuka, is in West Africa. It's all over West Africa. But we have a group that can produce oil, from that, and drinks, and we can produce so much from our local, herbs and spices. And these groups have been organized, but they need to be formed into cooperatives.
Got it. So
it's really important to have them be formed into cooperatives.
So, Brother Zico, we have a strategic recommendation here to look at cooperatives and obviously for other stakeholders to support and pull together the opportunity of engaging the already involved women and youth in the space. And mashallah, I think I'm proud of the panel itself. It's a good representation as well of the active engagement that women and obviously the youth have. I'm gonna, Farouk, consider you a youth.
Sorry, one more thing. Sorry.
Yes, please.
May I make another suggestion? Now that the Islamic Development Bank is here, I'm sure I recommend that you sponsor the translation of this report into different languages, because the people have to understand what you're saying. And I think you can afford to support Dar Al Halal to translate this in Hausa, Yoruba, Inupe, the language, so that people understand exactly what is being said. Because without the understanding, it will not make the correct impact. There has to be, people have to understand.
Thank you.
The majority don't understand.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amin. And obviously, data and facts and the story that this report supports will be. For example, in Indonesia, Your Excellency Dr. Mansour Mahad, we had to translate the Indonesian report into Bahasa, and for the further awareness development, I think certainly in Nigeria it is called for. I will also say, however, I think the good role models, they are much more important along with the report. So I think you as role models and success stories will actually inspire and showcase how it's being developed, and also highlighting the role models from the region and the world who are doing all these different fintech, halal food successfully, modest fashion, etc. But thank you so much for those very valuable points. With that, I'll come to Al-Haji Abdulaziz. Please share with us your perspective, give it a little bit of introduction and your perspective on how you see this halal market developing in Nigeria.
Waste our time. I want and greatest respect, eminence from Kano. I think I'm.
Let me just pass my mic, perhaps, because
I think I'm proud. Royal Father for the first time. And if you don't mind, I want to take a personal picture with our Royal Father, which I will keep beside my bed. Thank you very much. Having said that, there's a common saying in Yoruba which says that at times there will be much to say, but there will be no time. And in some cases, there will be time, but there will be little to say. But this time around, we have a lot to say, but we have a little time. First, I want to say that Nigerian government is ready for halal market. One, if you look at the meat industry, halal meat, it represents a substantial percentage of the value chain, the total value chain of the halal market. If you say halal market is about $3 trillion, the meat market is representing not less than 5% of that total market. I want to thank the Maiduguri meat market, which has started Maiduguri meat market, which has started exporting halal meat to Saudi Arabia. This is to say that we have the finance, we have the opportunity. First, let me say, in terms of the laboratory, government is recently taking the facilities from the World Bank to fix at least 2 abattoirs in each of the states of the Federation. The World Bank loan has been acquired, the implementations have started, studies have been carried out. So at the government level, government is deploying a lot of facility to handle this. Secondly, we have the Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme, which is known as CAX, which has a single obligor. The implication of this is that you cannot take less than 1 billion naira. Facilities available for anybody who wants to go to the halal market. And I'm using this opportunity to tell the fashion designers, those who want to go into agriculture, that we have the facilities. The fintech, you have the opportunity to take this. Apart from this, I also want to say that at the smaller level, we have the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Fund, which is a facility of about 300 billion, with women having the access to 60% of it. Thank God we've introduced Islamic banking into the central bank recently introduced Islamic banking into the workings of financial credit, from smallholder to the big holders to everybody. So with this opportunity, I want to say that Nigerian government is very, very ready. We also have the development partners. Like we have said, we are now getting the facility from the development bank, their partners. When you look at the Nigerian portfolios now, government is already designing facilities for government to take loan from the development partner like Islamic Development Bank, World Banks, and the others. And one of the areas where Islamic Development Bank has carved a niche for is having the best support for infrastructural facility all over the world. They support infrastructural facility to any tune amount. So there's an opportunity for us. So let's use the opportunity, let's exploit this opportunity for halal market. I'm proud to be associated with Dar Al Halal for introducing this opportunity. Quickly, I will also want to run into the capital market. There is a lot for us at the capital market. Government will also need to work out how we can bring in Islamic banking into the Islamic tenet rules and regulations into the capital market. And this, we are also working on this. Financial cooperatives. Government is already designing a way by which rules and regulations of financial lending can come into the financial cooperatives. Not only financial cooperatives, financial NGOs. We have financial NGOs that are doing well in the country. We have LAPO, we have SIP, we have all of them. And there's one interesting story coming up which we need to know and which we need to be proud of. This, in terms of the Islamic banking in Nigeria, if you look at those who are currently benefiting from it, the greatest beneficiary, they are the Christian. There is one major and largest estate agent in Abuja today that is selling houses to people, and people are buying at a cheaper rate. I won't want to mention the name. They are getting the benefits from Jaiz Bank. And unfortunately, I was surprised when the guy approached me. He said he doesn't need to pay the interest. He doesn't need to go through the cumbersome rules and regulations of the central bank of getting the facility. He's getting these facilities. They are making it available to him. He's building the houses. In fact, I have just advised my son to get one of the houses from this estate. So we have this opportunity, and that is why I mentioned at the beginning, with due respect to the elders, to the emirs, that by using the Yoruba proverb, that there's much to say, but there is little time. Otherwise, we can keep on saying opportunity we have within the halal ecosystem in Nigeria today. And let me quickly say that Nigeria is already working on the rules and regulations that will guide the halal market. And thank God Dar Al Halal is providing support for the FMIT, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Industry, to ensure that all the value chains are covered, from production, storage, processing, marketing, finance, even sports and fashion designing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll be waiting when you have more questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, I'll have a challenge question for all of you, but before I want. Yeah. Okay, so I know we've had the pleasure and honor to have His Highness with us all through, showing his tremendous commitment, but I know we cannot keep him for too long. So we won't have any question session, but we will have a guest appearance from Kannywood. And it is important to highlight, I think one of the key pillars of the developing halal lifestyle economy, and even in the report highlighted, is the role of media, good values-based media, content, dramas, radio, educational, so forth. So I think Kannywood is highlighted in the report. Would love to also hear a few comments from you, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Royal Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Definitely, from what I heard in this particular occasion, I come to realize that my industry has a lot of opportunity to portray its potential across the globe. Coincidentally, I wrote a very small note to deliver. So, moderator, please allow me to say something, perhaps 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. I come from Kannywood, and Kannywood is a film industry, and it was established in 1990 through the efforts of all the stakeholders in northern Nigeria, during which headquarters was agreed to be situated in Kano City being the center of the film market and other activities. Since its inception, Kannywood film industry has been providing adequate employment opportunity to our teaming youth, which coincide with the federal government's policy of encouraging self-reliance, especially among the youth, and also in tandem with Millennium Goals. It is also worthy to note that Kannywood film industry has myriad of potential, such as providing economic growth and stability, and portraying Nigeria's cultural heritage to the rest of the world, and at the same time serves as a medium for public enlightenment. In addition to that, Kannywood consistently provide to the youth through each single film production of 66 different jobs, which professionally is divided into 4 departments. It is creative, production and post-production, promotion, marketing, and exhibition. This endeavor cut across all strata of our teaming youth, both males and females, that can you provide means of survival year in, year out. So I think I have to stop here due to time factor, but definitely with this initiative, with the Nigeria halal market, I'm sure it will give a lot of opportunity to Nigerian youth, especially in the northern part of the country, to portray its culture and tradition, or also to have economic growth. So we welcome the idea of Nigeria halal markets. We are going to be partners of progress. We are going to support. We are going to ever, or rather, give ever support to achieve the desired goal. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Assalamu alaikum. Allah ya taimaki sarki. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless Dar Al Halal and Dinar Standard. And also, inshallah, through film, we are going to enlighten public people to come forward in order to enjoy, to benefit from this special program from Darul Islam. Thank you. Sunana Suleiman Yahya Bosho.
Good afternoon, everyone. And my due respect to our royal guests. My name is Jude Onguna. That tells you I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria. I often say to people, that medium over there, the television, is a very, very powerful influencer. To this generation, take cognizance of that. That's why we have cross-culture happening. Now, our worry is that for the past 20 years, since the proliferation of smartphones, most of our attentions are drawn to something other than what we're having here. So what you see basically is an example of what we want to push forward from this moment onwards to the whole world. So I would say that Dar Al Halal has brought in a new idea that's going to help everyone, especially the youth, as we all have young investors here who are actually planning to make sure they keep the tradition going. And at the same time, I also want to say a big thank you to every other media organization that has made it possible that everyone here is seen outside this vicinity, so that as that medium over there is equally giving the same impression we have to the youths, what we have going on here will create even a bigger impression. So I thank you once again all for coming. Thank you.
All right, so I think the importance of media has been highlighted. I wanted to also acknowledge, I'm realizing I'm amongst stars, as Brother Diko is highlighting, and mashallah, our great moderator himself is a well-known personality, and you've been kind to introduce us and introduce this halal report and the speakers. I'd love to hear your few minutes views on how you see this developing and your thoughts. Just a few minutes, please.
I had tried several efforts to dodge this, but anyway, my father called me on this, and after the presentation, I listened carefully, and I had nothing to say but to tell him that I'm on board. Reason being that Nigeria is still, a virgin land when it comes to halal market. And as well, just like Alhaji Ibrahim said, there is need for a rigorous enlightenment. Awareness need to be created. And also, my mother here also mentioned that this report should be translated to different languages, major languages in Nigeria. This will also help people to understand. When you begin to talk about halal, talk about Dar Al Halal, a lot of people might mistake it that this is Islamic business alone. But without being enlightened, one will not understand. But with enlightenment and awareness, people will understand that even if you are not a Muslim, you can actually invest in halal business. So I think it's a wonderful one. And of course, it calls for a celebration for Nigerian economy. And at the same time, in the field where I come from, comedy and all of that, there should be an awareness as well. Maybe we start having a halal jokes so that they can fly. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I think part of, again, building the awareness is having the media play a key part and make it interesting. Our youth, we heard about technology, are being consumed by media that most parents are not happy with, right? How many of you as parents are not happy with all the media our kids are consuming, right? So, yeah, many of us. Today, if we look at, and I will encourage Nigerian entrepreneurs in the media space to look at what's happening again in other markets with halal lifestyle content, because it's all Islamic values based. It'll be relevant here. It's about the importance of our family system, the role of mothers, the role of good ikhlaq and adab, all this in a fun and humorous way. These are things that I know Nigerians as a culture, you're very hospitable people, and I think your media can really play a part in highlighting this amazing economic concept that our beloved Prophet ﷺ actually introduced, the financing system of Waqf and the Islamic ecosystem, and the women and the young being involved in being your own business owners and being entrepreneurs. And this is an incredible space where the young and youth get excited about now and be proud of their identity. Where for the women, young women, to be proud of wearing and covering with pride that is representing our good values. So I want to thank everyone, and I want a great conversation. I learned a lot. I wish you all the best, and we're excited to contribute to the development of this exciting area for Nigeria, inshallah. I'll pass it to my brother back here.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor having you and sharing from the bank of your experience. You can please take your seats, please. Thank you. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you. Careful. Sorry. Sorry. Let me help you. Sorry. Okay, those maybe interesting. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zanzo, is with us via Zoom, and we would have wished that he speak to us, but I guess as at when he unmuted his mic, we were busy with the discussion. We also have Muhammad Abida, Islamic Center of Excellence from Malaysia, is also with us here online. The next item on my list here is closing remarks and vote of thanks by the CEO of Dar Al Halal, Alhaji Muhammad Dukku. Okay, can we have His Highness? We can have him, okay. So we'll have His Highness, the Emir of Zanzau, Ambassador Ahmad Nuhu Bamali. Media. Can you hear us, sir? Your Highness. Media.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Your Highness.
Okay. Your Highness, the Emir of Kano, and other dignitaries here, very good afternoon to you. I'm so sorry I came in late because I was attending another program. I'd like to take this opportunity, to congratulate the organizers of this event, for introducing halal market into Nigeria. I was really delighted because I know the importance of this market, most especially because I once lived in Asia, in Thailand, and this is an event that takes place regularly in Far East Asia, and you find people from different parts of the world, coming to Bangkok, to discuss, halal market, and it's a very huge market. And I believe we need this kind of market here in Nigeria. And, certainly, it's a huge market, and a lot of people can earn a living in this huge market. So congratulations, to the organizers of this event. And I hope and pray that our people will key into this vision so that at least this market can be developed in a very short period of time. Congratulations, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say a word or two. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Highness, the Emir of Zanzau. Please, you can do better. Put your hands together for the Emir. He has been signaling the media that he would want to talk, but because of the discussion, that has been a great honor. Last but not the least, I would wish to invite to the podium the Chief Executive Officer of Dar Al Halal, Nigeria, Alhaji Muhammadu Dukkoladan, for his closing remarks and vote of thanks. Please put your hands together for him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Highness, Sarkin Kano, and Your Highness, Sarkin Zazzau, distinguished guests, and our online audience, thank you very much. So much has been said, and I am particularly delighted that our royal fathers have chosen to grace this occasion, along with the Vice President of Islamic Development Bank, Alhaji Mansour Muhtar, and leaders of key strategic institutions of the OIC, His Excellency Professor Yalan, Director General, Islamic Organization for Food Security, and Her Excellency Latifa, Director General ICDT, and of course, the Honorable Minister for Finance, who had to leave at short notice, and distinguished ambassadors, panelists, and of course, the audience in here and also online. So much has been said, and this journey for us started in 2019 when my friend and brother Nasir Muazu Adamu Dangaladima Kazaure invited me for lunch and said, look, I've just been to this conference, and there is this team from Dinar Standard. Why don't we see how we can partner with them and drive this with the support of key stakeholders like our royal fathers and the Nigerian government, and of course, the private sector, to enlighten and promote halal in Nigeria. So in short, we started 2019. We had a lot of discussion with Brother Rafi. They found that it was worthy of us to really work with them, because for those of you who are familiar with EY, McKinsey, KPMG, it is very important to know that over the last 15 years, Dinar Standard have positioned themselves as the McKinsey and active competitor to these leading global institutions. So this is an achievement for the entire Islamic community. And that is why when we met, we said, okay, we are going to either piggyback on them or we are going to tie ourselves to them and do this for Nigeria and West Africa to start with, and overall with the reach out to Africa and then come together as Nigerians, West Africans, and Africans and tap the expanding potential in the industry. Particular thanks goes to Dr. Mansour Mutar, because when we approached ISDB, he opened so many doors, and Brother Rafi introduced the other OIC organizations. Now, what is key important, or the most important message here is, we live in halal, in the environment. Nigeria is full of opportunities that have been enumerated. And every sector, starting from the consumers and the producers and us who are in the consultancy and advisory services, we all have a role to play. But what is most important, we don't have to be a 100% Muslim country to enjoy and take advantages of the halal market. Nigeria has all the institutions. And above all, we have our royal fathers who work with the communities day in, day out, tirelessly. So through them, we're able to really push, Your Highnesses, for a lot of reform, policy support, and galvanizing groups and individuals together to really take advantage of this. One key finding of this report is that there is the need for awareness, which has been emphasized so many times. But the next stage is standardization of our thinking, our thoughts. And that will lead to creation of institutions, industries, and the ecosystem as a whole. How do you do that? We have ISDB as an example and Dinar Standard pushing through the Center for Excellence, and among other things, ITFC and other schemes that they give out to so many countries and institutions. What we are aiming to do is, there are so many people in Nigeria and in Africa that, yes, they want to do things, but how do you do it? So especially our young fashion designers, our film industry, they're all forgotten. And then the ordinary man doing suya or the cattle rearer, the sheep rearer, and the people slaughtering. What we want to achieve is this ability for people to be able to have enough knowledge to access all the finance and technical capability that is available for us to grow as a community. The biggest beneficiaries, you will all be surprised, in the global halal industry are the Western countries, because they have understood what halal is to the Islamic world, and they produce specific products for us. And that's why we need to look deeply into the report. Now, I would like to also mention that, as an example, we've been approaching Abuja Investment Company to see how we can use their facilities in Nigeria as a starting point, as a model for all of Nigeria. Abuja is the center, and they're working to give us land and other buildings and structures they have so that we can invite many other people. There are quite a number of people I want to recognize. Now, the ICDT has already written to the Minister for Trade. They are working on this certification. They are also working on the women program, but above all, they want to do the annual or the 11th or 12th Global Halal Expo and Summit in Nigeria in 2024, and this is being worked on by the Honorable Minister for Trade. The Ministry of Finance gave us so much support because we wanted introduction, because these things we're doing is private sector. Normally, it's governments that do this. But we took the initiative, so they gave us their no objection to engage these institutions, and especially the Islamic Development Bank. And since then, as I said, so many doors are being opened. The Director General, His Excellency Professor Yalan, we just yesterday signed an MOU, as he informed you, even though there were a few breaks, that we are making Nigeria the regional hub for meat production. What is important here is that meat production is the entire value chain, from those who have hay and green grass, our herdsmen, and the Fulani people who are doing it, the transporters, the slaughterhouses, the cold stores, the poultry farmers, and then the idea is to feed ourselves, and we also want to export so that there is a recycling, whereby we are trading within Nigeria, but we are also exporting to the GCC countries. The GCC countries in particular are net exporters of many products, including meat. So why can't we as Nigerians push for this? And this is where I believe we'll be able to bring so many sectors into this production, and it will open a lot of opportunities. And finally, I don't think I would want to delay people, but especially their highnesses, I would like to thank you very much, and we're open for business as usual. Thank you very much.
Okay, please, you can do better than that. There's a presentation that will be made to the CEO of Dar Al Halal Nigeria by the ambassador of Gambia. Thank you. Thank you.
Apologies once again. There is one important recognition. We have a participant from Senegal, a young lady. Aminata, where are you? Come and show yourself. Where are you? Come. She's a graduate. We met in Senegal when we were invited last year for the Senegal Trade Fair organized by ICDT. And she speaks French, a little bit of Arabic and English, because when we went there to participate, we needed a translator. So we made sure she came for us to show cooperation with our brothers and sisters in ECOWAS. Aminata.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Nigerian Authority. Please let me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Dar Al Halal in Nigeria. Thank you for all. I'm very proud to be here. Thanks Muhammad Dikoladan for inviting me from Dakar. Shukran lakum. Hani an li Dar Standard, hani an li Dar Al Halal, hani an li kulli man yahtam bi hadha al-ihtimam. Shukran.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, we would want to observe the national anthem as we have come to the end of the occasion. National anthem, please. Thank you very much. There will be photo section at the entrance of the hall. There will be photo section. Thank you. So it is believed for the gate pass, we have stayed longer than expected. So at the gate, you can just present your tag for the security check. So they can allow you to pass. You don't have to pay. Your tag is your pass at the gate. You don't have to pay for parking lot. Thank you.